What is up, YouTube? Is video game sickness real or is it not? Recently, HappyConsoleGamer did a video talking about video game sickness. And the video was basically going on to talk about how he had been playing all these games lately, but kind of started not feeling like himself.
Hey, listen!
So basically, he said that he had sat down, he played the new Zelda, he played Resident Evil 4, he played Final Fantasy, he played through all these long games, Fire Emblem, everything. But he was really starting to just feel down and about. And what we're going to go over today is talking about why that might be. So, one thing I can tell you, being as somebody that's into fitness, being into working out and stuff like that, but also being a gamer and a swing shift worker. And if you're not familiar with what a swing shift worker is, you basically work nights and day shifts. So for 2 weeks on, I work days, and then 2 weeks on, I work nights, and they're 12-hour shifts. So a lot of this stuff I run into on weekly basis is because of my scheduling in general. But I could see why somebody that is really getting into video games and was really sitting there, for hours on end, just pushing through these games, could really get sick. And I'm gonna look at some symptoms here coming up of why this might be. And this is basically just the kind of philosophy behind them. Now, I know everything in the world, with addiction and everything about that, it's all about moderation and it's all about balance, which I was seeing in the comments a lot about HappyConsoleGaming's video. And I'll also post a link to that video in the description below and give you guys a link to his channel. Make sure you check him out. Very awesome channel. I love a lot of the stuff he does. I've never seen a man love RPGs so much as I do. And yeah, So he goes on to talk about this, and I can give you a little bit of experiences in the past with me. Video games, as an adult now, being 36 years old, 3 kids, a wife, and a full-time job and a part-time job. Balance is key in everything, and I do find myself nowadays not playing as much video games as I used to. As my younger years, when I would sit down and easily drop 7 to 8 hours at a time playing a game, especially if it was a new one like an RPG that came out that I really enjoyed. Excuse me. But nowadays, I will play like Resident Evil 4, and I will beat it in a couple days, or a couple, more along the lines, usually 2 weeks because of my schedule. Or right now, I've been cruising through Guardians of the Galaxy on PS5, and the moderation has been playing 2 hours at the most here and there, 1 hour and stuff like that. But there will be the nights where I just drop everything. I don't make any videos. I don't do anything else. I just sit there and play video games. And as much as I like to do that, there is some, repercussions for doing that. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to swap over here. And to figure this out, what I basically searched here was, what are some signs and symptoms that you are being inside for too long? And some of the stuff will relate more to what he was talking about and how he felt sick after all this. Whether it be with the serotonin of, not, once you beat a game, just like being like, well, what now? And then going to other games and stuff like that. But we're going to look at some stuff like this. But one of the main things you guys need to understand is our body needs vitamin D. And one of the great sources of vitamin D that we can get is the sun. We're basically what people don't understand is, we're basically like plants, and we need sunlight to flourish and stuff like that. So when we start staying inside too long, we start isolating too long, and doing stuff like that, we essentially start getting sick for no reason. And a lot of people will find that, so I always tell everybody, make sure you're getting a vitamin D supplement, guys. So here was coastal transformations, and this was what I said, like I searched symptoms for being inside for too long, and you will see a lot of this. Now, if you see these symptoms in yourself, you might want to reevaluate some stuff that's going on. But like I said here, now, number 1 is moodiness. We need sunlight to increase our levels of serotonin, the mood-boosting neurotransmitter. Low levels of serotonin are often linked with mood swings and sometimes depression. So a lot of times people get worried, especially older people, because they don't get out as much. They isolate and they stay inside. So how can this relate to video games? Well, let's use me as an example again, guys. You can be down in the basement. That's my game room. I'm in the basement right now. I have my windows and everything blocked off. because this is where I sleep when I'm on night shift and I had to sleep during the day. So I am essentially blocked off completely from the sunlight. If I would just stay down here and play games for long hours on end and then go and work my night job, I would not have access to the sun at all, guys. And that's one thing that you need to understand too, is you need to make time to get outside. You don't have to go outside and run a mile. You don't have to go outside and do this other stuff, but you can just go outside and simply play your Switch out there if you have to. I mean, I know we're trying to get away from the video games, but in all honesty, you got to go out there and sit in the chair and just soak up some rays, man. Not to sound like a hippie or a surfer dude, but get out there, brah. God, I don't know why I did that. Going on to number 2, anxiety and restlessness. Staying inside can lead to feelings of being stir crazy, but it can also make you more irritable and anxious. We become upset more easily than usual, and end up becoming upset by seeing seemingly minor things. So, being as someone that has been, diagnosed with severe anxiety and stuff with this, I can relate a lot to this one too, and restlessness. I do. My wife is somewhat annoyed by it, but I'm one of those people that does not like to get dirty. I don't like to, if it's not work related, if it's just for fun, I do not like to get dirty. I do not like to get wet. So I essentially am a person that does not like to do too much stuff outside because of reasons like that. But a lot of times I do force myself to do it for my kids, for my family, and stuff like that. But I have, seen stuff where I get stir crazy, and there will be times when, I will just take my son out to go for a walk just because we've been in here for too long. We need to get outside and we need to do something. Otherwise, I will just nitpick at everything around the house, and that is not great. Sleeping problems, yes. I seen this was a few of the comments, preferably are on that video, was sleeping problems. People were, if it wasn't staying up late to play the video games and not getting enough sleep because they just were engaged inside too long and stuff like that, but they were playing the games late into the night and then barely getting any sleep for work. So they'd play, and get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, go to work, come home, play the game, and just keep that rotation going on. And you guys, it is not healthy to do that. Your body needs at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, preferably 7. 8, of course, if you could do that, but you need to get at least 6.5, 7 hours of sleep, guys. So this is causing main problems with people's sleep problems, and that sleep is one of the most important things. Besides nutrition, sleep is the most important thing you guys need to get. Poor immune system. The body needs sufficient amounts of sunlight to make vitamin D, so we're going over that too. I don't think people understand how important vitamin D is for you guys. So like I said, if you're not getting out enough, you're not drinking vitamin D milk, make sure you guys pick up a vitamin D supplement just for whatever reason that you are, any reasons that you need it, because most people are basically vitamin D insufficient, and you guys need it. This relates more on to about bone and muscle weakness too. Once again, vitamin D helps with muscles, and it helps with building stronger bones. So like I said, pick up some vitamin D milk, pick up a vitamin D supplement. But besides this, you got to understand too that with the bone and muscle weakness, you'll see it in, like I said, older people, of course, but also people that are forced in the chairs for too long, that are unable to walk as much or do any exercise. If you're stuck in one position for so long, your muscles become so used to that it is hard for you to change from that position. Now you find that if you are sitting in a chair for so long and someone asks you just to do something small and you're just like, and you're trying to get out of the chair like that, and your muscles just don't want to move. And you will see that too with working out and any jobs and stuff like that are very manual labor. You need to stretch. You need to warm up the muscles and stuff like that. So if you're sitting in your gaming chair, you're sitting on your couch, you're South Park nerding it on your little playing games, you're going to develop this bone and muscle weakness, and you're going to start feeling sick after that. You're not going to want to do anything. You're going to become, what do they call it, lethargic. You're going to basically be stuck. Changes in appetite. We all know what comes along with gaming. If you are not eating a bunch, you are not eating too little. There's really no in-between, especially if you are just stuck on wanting to play. So one of the big things I could see with that would be Me personally, is like I said, I try to be more in the fitness. I try to watch my nutrition, you know, being 36 years old and stuff like that. Not wanting to live forever, but wanting to live for a long enough time that I could see my kids, my grandkids grow up. You could see how easy it is to make a, you know, unhealthy peanut butter and super jelly sandwich, or how it could be unhealthy to grab a bag of chips, or, you know, grab candy bars, or grab snacks that are very processed in carbs and are just easy to eat because you don't want to stop playing the game. You want to keep coming back. You just want to munch quick in between, you know, battles or rounds and just eat like crap. So if you do that, protein is essential for the body. I know a lot of people, vegans and stuff out there, might not say so, but that is how it goes. And you need protein, you need fats, and you need carbohydrates. But you also need to make sure that you moderate how much you're doing it so you're not eating too much. Because what is worse than sitting there is eating a bunch of carbs on top of that and all that stuff, and it just turns to fat. So you need, that's one thing too that can lead to the sickness, is you're playing too many games and stuff and you're not getting your right appetite, or you're not getting your right nutrition. And lastly, fatigue. If you find yourself low on energy, it's time to step outside. A study from Rochester found that spending time outside in a green, natural environment can boost your physical and mental energy by nearly 40%, guys. So what does that mean to you? That means that 3 cups of coffee you needed, or the 2 energy drinks, or the G Fuel, or whatever, to get a few more rounds in, you didn't need it, because essentially your body is just telling, if you've been playing for too long anyways, your body is telling you, hey man, I need to get out of here. I need to go do something else. Now, I just want to say here too that I am not an expert in nutrition. I am not an expert in this stuff. I am just kind of going off my own personal opinion. So this is not like, just this isn't advice or whatever. This is just kind of what works for me. But when I watched that video on video game sickness, it really like kind of hit at me, because I have experienced that in the past. You know, a lot of times you will do that, like especially this year so far. There's been so many bangers that popped out, so many great games that it seems like one after another you're going through them. Like, you know, like I said, I played through Resident Evil 4 remake, then I got right into Guardians of the Galaxy, but before that it was Hogwarts Legacy, and it was all these very good games. And then for a while there too, I was going through some of the Dark Souls games, and that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication, and when you're sitting there for too long playing these games, a lot of these symptoms will start to make sense. You just need to make sure that you keep balance it all out, and make sure you guys are going outside and doing some other stuff too. Video games are great. I love video games, and obviously I love them. I mean, besides, I play games all the time and everything with that. But you just need to be careful about that. Video game sickness is real. It is not really a sickness in itself that is, you know, probably, you know, I mean, you just show up to the doctor and he's not going to be like, oh, you got video game titus, or, you know what, something like that. It's just going to be, it's just something that has symptoms related to it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this fun little video. I know a lot of you are probably like, what the heck is this guy talking about? And then I like to do these different types of videos. Now, these can all, you know, relate to the addiction and stuff like that, with the moderation and making sure that you're balancing it all. But this has just been fun to talk about too, because this is real. I mean, people might not think that, but I just want you to think about that next time that you drop, you know, 4 or 5 hours into a video game, you eat a bag of chips, and then the next day you get up and you're like, why do I feel like garbage? Why do I feel like crap today? I don't understand. I didn't do nothing yesterday. That might be why you feel like garbage. You didn't do nothing the day before, and you just sat inside and, yeah, basically isolated away. So make sure you're not isolating. Make sure you're getting sunlight. Make sure you're getting vitamin D. Make sure you're playing games and balancing it with your life. And just make sure you're having a good time, guys. If you ever just want to talk about something, just let me know in the comments below. But you guys need to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. But that's all I got, guys. Comment below what you guys thought of this video. Did you enjoy this? Have you suffered from this before, or did you think this is all just a crock of crap? Stay retro, my friends, and I will see you in the next video.